After years of mounting rape accusations, an arrest warrant has been issued for Bill Cosby. The 78-year-old has been charged with felony sexual assault, accused of drugging and sexually assaulting former Temple employee Andrea Constand at his Pennsylvania mansion back in 2004.
More than 50 women have come forward to publicly accuse Cosby of assault over 4 decades, most saying he drugged them first. Cosby is expected to be arraigned today at 4 p.m. Eastern. Greg Argos from our Philadelphia station WKYW has the latest.
We are here to announce today charges that have just been filed against William Henry Cosby.
Those charges are 3 counts of aggravated indecent assault, a felony of the 2nd degree.
These charges stem from a sexual assault that took place on an evening in early 2004 at Mr. Cosby's home in Cheltenham Township, Montgomery County.
According to the criminal complaint filed today in Montgomery County, comedian Bill Cosby and the victim, a women's basketball coach at Temple University, established a friendship.
The victim came to consider Mr. Cosby her mentor and her friend.
But the embattled comedian apparently wanted more, offering the victim wine and blue pills during an early 2004 visit at Cosby's home in Cheltenham, Pennsylvania.
On the evening in question, Mr. Cosby urged her to take pills that he provided to her and to drink wine, the effect of which rendered her unable to move or respond to his advances, and he committed aggravated indecent assault upon her.
Now the 78-year-old will face a judge this afternoon, arraigned on these felony charges.
Reopening this case was not a question. Rather, reopening this case was our duty as law enforcement officers with a sworn obligation to uphold our constitutions and to uphold the law.
With us now from Washington is attorney Joseph Cammarata. He represents 7 of Cosby's accusers, but does not represent the woman involved in today's charges. Thanks for joining us. What was your reaction to hearing about all this? Did you have any idea?
Didn't have an idea it was coming down. I knew that it was under investigation. I knew that the deadline was looming, but I didn't know until I got a call from the press.
Joseph, what do you know about this case specifically?
About the Andrea Constand case?
Yes.
Well, I know what I've read. There have been press reports. There have been deposition excerpts that have been released. Mr. Cosby claims that he had a consensual sexual encounter with Ms. Constand. The underpinning of Ms. Constand's lawsuit against him was that it was anything but consensual. He drugged me, and then he assaulted me.
Have you been able to speak to your clients since this news broke? I have to imagine that you have.
Any good lawyer should talk to their clients about developments in a case. Hopefully I could be considered a good lawyer. So, you know, you're not far off from thinking that I did speak to my clients.
Rape cases are unique in that other allegations are admissible. Do you expect your clients will be asked to testify in this case?
They may. The character evidence or evidence of similar behavior it is admissible in certain circumstances, in criminal cases as well as in our case, the civil case. And so, frankly, in my case, Mr. Cosby has put his reputation at issue by bringing a counterclaim against my clients. He said that they're lying and that he's the truth teller and that he's never done any such sexual assault or abuse of women. And now, since he's put that at issue, that's going to be front and center in our case.
This case is a case from which a lot of information has been gleaned out of the testimony itself. Are there enough similarities between what you have read about the Constand case and what your clients are telling you about their circumstances that you can draw a conclusion and move forward with that?
Well, let's take one case in point. Therese Serenese. Mr. Cosby was questioned about his encounter with Ms. Serenese during the Constand litigation. His testimony is part of the deposition that was been released. He claims that he met a young woman by the name of Therese. She was 19, met her in Las Vegas, invited her to a show. After the show, took her backstage and gave her Quaaludes. She took the Quaaludes, and then he said that he had sex with her. In our lawsuit, we maintain that, in fact, that happened. That Mr. Cosby came up to her at a gift shop and said, "Will you marry me?" And eventually, the two wound up backstage. She was given Quaaludes, and she claims Mr. Cosby raped her. She was incapable of, she didn't know what was going on, and was raped. Mr. Cosby, at his deposition, was asked, when you gave Therese those pills and you then had sex with her, in particular, when you had the sex with her, did she consent to it? He said, "I don't know." Ms. Serenese says that she does know. She did not consent. And so, you know, we don't have to go much further than that to establish that what Ms. Serenese was saying has some support in the record.
Joseph, I have to ask you, the district attorney today said that it was testimony from that civil case that was brought to light just this last July that helped bring about these charges. Do you think your clients and the release of their testimony may have helped with these charges today? And what are your clients telling you?
Well, first of all, I can't tell you what my clients are telling me because I don't want to breach the attorney-client privilege. But to answer your question, the deposition did have some very, very important, powerful testimony. Number one, Mr. Cosby obtained Quaaludes, a powerful sedative, a drug that he acknowledged he didn't need for himself, but that he distributed to others. He didn't take it because it made him sleepy, but he knew the effects. He could describe those effects, making someone, as he called it, high. Or incapable of, you know, I think it's incapable of giving consent. So that's point number one. Number two, you have the Therese Serenese admission. And you have a pattern and practice that is documented and discussed in the deposition. And so, yes, I do think that that testimony played an important part in the charges that were brought against Mr. Cosby today.
All right, Joseph Cammarata, thank you.
Thank you very much.
We will continue to follow several developments in the story throughout the afternoon. There is a 2:30 p.m. Eastern press conference. Her attorney Gloria Allred, who represents several more of Cosby's accusers, will react to the charges, and Cosby himself is expected to appear in court this afternoon around 4 p.m. Eastern. We will have live coverage of both of those events.